Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family. The Ballon D'Or ceremony will take place in around 13 days on the 30th of October, and I'm here to decide and give my thoughts on who I believe should be winning the Ballon D'Or 2023 edition. First of all, let's talk about the candidates. Obviously, there are tons of nominees, but in my opinion, there are only three somewhat valid candidates, and those are Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe, and Erling Braut Haaland. A player like Kevin De Bruyne is close to being there, but because of some reasons, he would not be featuring in my top three. Those reasons are him stinking up at the World Cup. Obviously, when it comes to Haaland, people are using the excuse, oh, he plays for Norway, he couldn't play in the World Cup. Well, De Bruyne played in the World Cup and was absolutely horrendous for Belgium, who got knocked out in the group stages. And we cannot forget how mid he was pre-World Cup. So the entirety of the season from August up until the World Cup, he was not good. So let's jump into the candidates. First of all, we have Lionel Messi. 63 goals and assists for club and country in the 2022-2023 season. He also went away with a lot of trophies in this year, having the Trophée du Champion, Ligue 1 Uber Eats, the World Cup, Lawrence Trophy, FIFA the Best, and obviously the World Cup Golden Ball. Next up is Kylian Mbappe with 67 goals and assists in all competition, and the trophies he went home with this season was the Trophée du Champion, Ligue 1 Uber Eats, Ligue 1 Player of the Season, Ligue 1 Top Scorer of the Season, and obviously the World Cup Golden Boot. And lastly but not least, Erling Braut Haaland with 72 goals and assists in all competitions. And these are the trophies he took home. Obviously the Champions League Golden Boot, European Golden Boot, and obviously the Premier League Golden Boot, UEFA Champions League, PFA Men's Player of the Year, Premier League Player of the Season, UEFA Best Player, UEFA Super Cup, and the FA Cup. And obviously when you look at all these trophies and how many trophies, you can see Haaland has more trophies, both individual and collective trophies, than Messi and Mbappe, whilst Messi obviously has the World Cup, which has the most weight out of any single trophy. But that's why I'm here to digest a bit deeper. Going a bit deeper into Erling Braut Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, and Lionel Messi's season. First thing we definitely need to mention is that the World Cup is a bigger and harder tournament to win and perform in than the Champions League. I believe that is common sense, but I have to bring it up so nobody talks about it later in the comments. Another thing I want to bring up is that we would not be looking at any league stats or cup stats. We will purely only look at Champions League and World Cup stats for the respective players, because no player has ever won the Ballon d'Or based on what he's done in the league. So we're scrapping that away. Ligue 1 and Premier League performances, including of the domestic cups, will be removed from this analysis. So if we keep it like that, we have goals and assists for all of the three players in the Champions League and the World Cup combined. Obviously, Erling Haaland did not play at the World Cup. That's sad for him. That is sad for him. Kylian Mbappe had 20 goals and assists in the Champions League and the World Cup combined. Lionel Messi had 18 goals and assists in the World Cup and the Champions League combined. And Erling Haaland had 13 goals and assists. Obviously, only in the Champions League, but nothing in the World Cup, 0. Well, that was goals and assists. Let's look a bit deeper, because if we look at man of the matches, Kylian Mbappe has 7, Lionel Messi has 6, and Erling Braut Haaland only has 1 single man of the match in his entire Champions League campaign with Manchester City last season. What this tells us is that Haaland, yes, he played on the best team in the world. They won their trophies and all of that. He also scored a lot of goals. But was he Manchester City's most important player or best player? Absolutely no. Was Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe, Paris Saint-Germain, France, and Argentina's best and most important players? 100%. You can even take a look at some deeper stats. So I'm gonna be looking at goals and assists scored in the World Cup / Champions League when the respective team was either drawing or losing at that point. Erling Braut Haaland had 5 of those goals or assists. Lionel Messi had 10 and Kylian Mbappe had 11. And another fun fact is that if you remove all of Erling Braut Haaland's goals and assists in the Champions League, Manchester City would still went on to win the Champions League without him. And that just tells you how this player can absolutely not be winning the Ballon d'Or because he wasn't even the best player on his individual team. And that is why I think this debate has always been between Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Andres Messi. Both have been their best player for their club and their country. And they obviously performed great and exceptionally at the biggest stage in the world, which is the World Cup. With Messi having a better World Cup than Kylian Mbappe and obviously winning the World Cup, that is why my answer for who should win the Ballon d'Or in this season, it should be Lionel Andres Messi, followed up by Kylian Mbappe, and thirdly but not least, Erling Braut Haaland. Now that I've gone through the statistics and everything when it comes to this award, let's go a bit deeper into my singular opinion. I believe one important thing is performances when it comes to football. And a player like Erling Haaland, I don't think he even had a single good performance last season with Manchester City. Obviously he had the 5 goals versus Leipzig, but I wouldn't even call that a performance. I would just call it a great goal-scoring game, not a performance. Whereas Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe, as we saw with how many man of the matches they have won, they've been dropping not just goals, but important performances. Kylian Mbappe, for example, was the highest dribbler last season at the World Cup, and Lionel Messi, I believe, was the second highest dribbler in Europe's top 5 leagues. Erling Braut Haaland is a one-dimensional striker who only can score goals, and it would be absolutely disgusting to the sport of football if this Norwegian Shrek won the Ballon d'Or. That is why my pick has to be between Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe. I believe one of the two deservedly win the Ballon d'Or. Well, that has been it for my Ballon d'Or thoughts. Let me know in the comments down below, who do you guys believe should be winning the Ballon d'Or? Is it Kylian Mbappe? Is it Lionel Andres Messi? Or is it the fraud Erling Braut Haaland? That's been it from your boy PSGINT, and as usual, allez Paris!